Everybody will eventually appear. We are missing still some of the people from our own panel. Let me start the introductions before introducing myself. Let me start the introductions of our panelists here. So Dr. Anu Jossan is an economist and a senior fellow in higher education. She currently is working at ARIU with the University of Derby as program leader for BA Honors International Business. Then we have, please Anu, please join us here at the panel. Just leave one space empty for me because I will be joining you. So then we have Christian Orange, which is a winner of the Outstanding Leadership Award in the Education 2.2 conference. Congratulations. Christian, please come here. Christian has successfully overcome 49 years of suffering from a particular type of depression, as well as reducing his self-sabotaging and self-harming tendencies. I see Christian very nice and healthy. Congratulations, Christian. Let's find the other panelists. Okay, then we have Monica Perna, is a digital entrepreneur, Globish coach, and mentor from Italy. Welcome. She's the CEO and co-founder of AUGE International Consulting, as a Dubai-based company providing online education solutions and adult training programs. Congratulations. And then we have Pooja Singh, is a life coach and a founder of the Thriving Pod, passionate about coaching people to understand their goals, with a strong belief of uniqueness in every individual capabilities. Please come in. Thank you. And she deeply understands and relates with a person's emotions and to guide them towards their aligned goals. And last, I want to say a few words about me. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Digipro Education. Digipro Education was founded in Cyprus. Now we are a European Union country, 32 years ago. Our main goal is to deal with learning engineering and using technology in teaching and learning for the K-12 students. And what we do mainly is to address the needs of the teachers who have to have multiple balls in the air, trying to balance out their own leadership and life skills with the new educational goals of the children, the Alpha generation, children who were born after 2010 and who want to lead and be led by leaders so they can become successful and fruitful in their tomorrow's lives as very, very impactful people in the world. So, a new kind of leader, how to connect and effectively lead the 21st century students. So, my first question to the panelists is how to motivate, engage the 21st century students. How can we do it? Is it the method or the means? Are there pedagogies that take place or technologies that we are abundantly used nowadays in today's classroom? How does one teacher do it? And I want to ask Anu to tell us her experiences in that matter. How do we lead the leaders? How do we develop? Do we develop the leaders? Do we nourish the development of leaders? What is the question? That is the question. Yes.
Okay. From my perspective of higher education, I would say that there is a big generation gap between the students and the teachers, especially when it comes to technology. So I would like to say that the leader should be a tech-savvy person. Like, we should not ignore, we should not see technology as a bane. We need to consider technology, we need to use technology, we need to spend time to occupy, to adapt ourselves to technology so that we can enable our students or adapt with them to make them good leaders. On the other perspective, I would say the leader should be more empathetic, because not all the students are the same. They all go through different problems, they face different problems, and most of the time as teachers, we focus on the curriculum. We don't focus on their engagement, we don't focus on their development, on their progress, but on the other side, they will be facing a lot of problems. So being an empathetic leader is on the other side way important than the curriculum or all the other aspects. This is my two perspectives which I would like to share on that.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, Pooja?
Hi, good afternoon to each one. Thank you for the question, ma'am. To me, being a life coach, I understand different perspectives. The answer to ma'am's question is as simple as what we are asking and expecting the child or the individual to do. We need to engage with them. If we want them to perform, we need to perform with them. We need to involve them. We need to give them an opportunity to make their own decisions. That's how demonstrative learning and inclusive learning will help them be better leaders. That's how experience will help them. In today's times, whenever, I think each one of us must have had an experience of going for a job and being asked, how many years of experience do you have? I have understood this, wherein each one of us would only answer, the answer to this question would be only, a year, 2, 10, 15. But we are learning since the day we are born. Why can't we say that? How many years of experience do you have? What is the age is equivalent to the years of experience, because the learning began from there. The experiences began from there itself. Why not? Why only and only those many years of engagement or, being actively involved in a corporate culture or any place where you are, only those many years of experiences are considered. So inculcating these aspects of leadership from the beginning, initially, give them an opportunity to explore and be their own selves is what I feel is the way to engage and make valuable leaders for future, just by doing what we're expecting them to do, demonstrating. Yes, ma'am.
So thank you very much for your answer. You say that we develop the leaders, we cultivate the leaders, we enable leadership to flourish within our classrooms, within our communities, and within our world. And leadership is not taught, is embraced, and it's nourished and developed. Thank you very much. So, Monica.
Hi, many thanks. My name is Monica. Thank you so much. I'm so happy and excited to be here. So, talking about how to cultivate, as our co-panelists said, leaders. I think that the most important thing that we have to do as teachers and mentors, as coaches, is to inspire them. Today, new generations are attracted by these new models that they see on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, on social media in general, on YouTube. And these are the models that they want to imitate. That these are the people that they want to get closer to. So I think that today, the key point is really to be able to inspire people to become models for them, to be able to attract and get their attention through this new kind of education mixed with entertaining that is called edutaining, that is really booming out in this last, after pandemic. And so I really think that inspiring and becoming models for them is the key in order to attract their attention and be easily followed, listened, and be considered as a new point of reference.
Okay, thank you. Very well said. Yes, Christian.
Yes, hello everyone. The concept I work with myself, I feel very fond of, is to inspire, encourage teachers to become excellent leaders for themselves first and foremost. And therefore, by being that example, inspire their students to do the same. What I find very interesting about the title, The New Kind of Leader, is that you can interpret it in two ways. For instance, are you a new leader? Well, kind of. Well, that's not the kind of leader I talk about. What I'm talking about are the leaders who are kind, who work with kindness. That's interesting, I think, and important. What exactly is, and that's another question I work with myself and have worked with myself, what is exactly the difference between a new kind of leader and the kind of the leader that we have seen so far? And to me, the difference between the two is captured by one word, and that is resourcefulness. When we look at resourcefulness, then one way to look at it, where we get it from our education, we get it from reading books, we get it from going to seminars and conferences like this, we talk with our colleagues and so on and so forth. Those are what I would say the current resources. What I see as needed for the new kind of leader is to expand that resourcefulness. And then we come to the question, well, if that's the case, if that is true, how to expand it? In the session tomorrow with the panel, it was already mentioned that a few times the word core is mentioned. And that to me is very much the direction to go. It is to go inside and to re-establish a more direct conscious connection with our core. Okay, but then, what is that core? How to find it? How to work with it? And what are the advantages, and what will it eventually be the outcome of it? There's another thing I think important to take into consideration, and that has to do with a story about a Native American elder who asked his grandson to come. And to put a long story short, he asked the boy, or he pointed out to the boy that in all of us, we have two wolves inside, a happy wolf and a grumpy wolf. And those two are kind of in a battle, basically all the time, most of the time. But then the grandfather said to his grandson, well, one of them, and that's the good news, one of them is going to win. And the boy asked, which one? And his grandfather answered, the one you feed. Why am I telling this story is because we all have, and that is scientifically proven, we have a part in our brain that is geared towards survival. It's the reptile brain, particularly the amygdala. This part of the brain is constantly looking for danger and finding ways to make us or feel ourselves safe. One of the ways this part of the brain is operating is to make sure to maintain the status quo. To make sure that to resist change, because change means to step out of your circle of comfort and to step into unknown, and that for that part of the brain is tricky. So what I mean to say with this is that it is not only, in my perspective, important to think about and to explore and to work towards becoming a new kind of leader, it needs to go hand in hand with exploring that particular part in us that is causing the resistance. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian, for your insightful views. And now we need to move ahead for the 21st century learning, to the 21st century students and the 21st century teaching techniques. In all, 21st century skills are all about creative thinking, critical thinking, communication, and collaboration, developing children to and enabling them to elevate their thinking skills from knowledge acquisition to knowledge repetition, and then to knowledge analysis and sharing, of course, to elevate their thinking skills. So how can we teach children to be more entrepreneurial in their leadership capabilities and acquire expert thinking all in all? Entrepreneurial thinking, of course, we don't mean all about buying and selling something. Entrepreneurial thinking, it's all about allowing and enabling the children to view at the wider picture, the big picture, enabling the children to cooperate, to collaborate, to find many solutions to a problem, and in thinking outside the box. And sometimes I say to the students, it's not thinking about outside the box, there is no box to think about. So get out of this box, there is no box, and at the same time, learn to take risks, calculated risks, learn to cooperate and collaborate, and be expert thinker. Expert thinker, again, it's all about, let's say that I am an expert reader. That means that I can read unknown documents without having to recite it, and then I can read it. Expert piano player means that I can play an unknown piece without having to rehearse it 10 times before. So we are now here to decide on how to cultivate all these qualities to our students, because these are the core ingredients of the 21st century students in leadership abilities. So, Anu.
Thank you. We are living in a time of exponential technology. Like robots are being replaced. Robots replace human beings in many of our jobs, actually. Many of our jobs are being taken by electronic equipments, machines, and robots, right? Now, what differentiates a human being and a robot, right? It's thinking, it's judgment. A robot cannot make judgmental decisions. It cannot think. We need to program it, right? So where we will last in our skill will be in our thinking. So how we cultivate that in our students? If we are going to survive in our job, it will be purely on our judgmental decision and creative thinking. Are we doing that in our universities or in schools? We are not doing it. How much we are in cultivating transferable skills on judgmental abilities, problem solving, or critical thinking? Some of the countries are bringing this into the curriculum in the form of design-based education. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so design-based education, I found it as one of the best solutions where you incorporate transferable skills like problem solving, critical thinking, many of the other useful things which are must needed for our students, along with the content, along with the knowledge. So I would suggest that this is something we all need to embrace: design-based education, critical thinking. If we know about the critical thinking, there are 7 steps. How many of us know about it? Even though I have heard about it, I don't know the full 7 step as a teacher. Now, how am I going to do that in the classes, right? By doing all of these, we are naturally, or by effort, we are inculcating these developmental abilities in our students for a lifelong learning. And this is what is needed: design-based education, critical thinking applied to everything, be it data-based jobs or data-based subjects, or non-data-based subject as well. Critical thinking is important. So these are my 2 perspectives.
Yes, thank you very much for bringing this over. And the differentiation between creative thinking, it's about divergence, it's about abundance, and then critical thinking, as you put it, it's our ability, according to the rules and the regulations, to pick the best solution and be able to wear our critical thinking hat when we evaluate the solution, and of course wear our creative hat when we have to redesign new solutions. Now, your Pooja, tell us your opinion about all of that.
Sure, ma'am. So to be an entrepreneur, what is the most essential skill or the most essential element that each one of us need? Can anybody tell me? Sorry? Dare. Confidence is also a term for that. How do we build confidence in children or the upcoming young minds? How do we get them there? By making them do what is expected, not by us, not from us, what they're expecting to do, giving them a platform, including them, appreciating them, accepting them, because until and unless they don't make mistakes, they'll not realize, they'll not analyze what it is. I totally understand today is a world of artificial intelligence. What is lacking, very rightly stated by ma'am, is thinking, again, emotions. Human emotions cannot be replaced, cannot be. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Nurturing those emotions, giving them a platform to explore, experiment. It's okay to make mistakes. Learn from it. Not repeating the mistake is important, is one of the most important element. And that is the only way to be confident. That is the only way one can say that, yes, I am confident. It will not come. It's in the process. It's not the outcome. Entrepreneurship is not the outcome. It's the process that we churn in, that we drive in.
Yes, very good. That we nourish, and also the children now take the lead. Those alpha generation children do not even trust adults because we bring them up in a world where there are diseases, there are wars, there are refugees, there are killings. So the children want to take the lead, and therefore the teacher does no longer teach. The teacher just facilitates the learning process, just inspired, makes learning relevant, mixes technology nicely and with the good pedagogies. Good pedagogies are still play a very, very vital, important role in every teacher's mind. And this is how we will continue to engage and inspire students that will effectively become leaders in tomorrow's world, because everyone should know that is a leader. So, Monica, what are your thoughts on that?
What I always tell my students is that the comfort zone is a nice place to visit, but not much grows there. So, of course, in order to get out of the comfort zone, we need confidence, as our colleague was just saying. And again, I repeat what I said before, in order to provide, to give confidence to our students, we have to inspire them. I totally agree with the fact that artificial intelligence cannot replace human teachers, of course, but given our experiences, what we are doing, employing artificial intelligence in the language teaching, I have to say that it can really offer a variety of benefits to our students. Also because, for example, if you ask them to train their accent or their pronunciation using artificial intelligence professor, they feel less judged because they know that artificial intelligence cannot judge them, and so they feel more self-confident because they are not scared of any judgment. So, of course, combined in a wise way and in a very effective way, human professors, teachers, together with artificial intelligence, can really have amazing results, and we have tested them in the training of the English language. Apart from that, technology can, of course, give a lot of advantages in terms of removing geography barriers and reducing to zero distances. So through technology, you can really involve and so inspire students in a bunch of activities that, thanks to technology, can really let them understand that they are with you. They can perceive your energy as a trainer, as a coach, as a professor. And even if they are living in the other part of the world, this is not any longer a problem. For example, now in my case, after my intervention, I will take live my students here in this conference. I will let them live and experience what joining an educational conference in Dubai means. And I think that this is just thanks to technology. So, of course, a perfectly combined and wise and intelligent combination between technology and human training can be really the perfect match to help our students get out of the comfort zone. Please.
Thank you, Monica. Christian, how do you feel about 21st century learners?
Okay, first of all, validating everything that my lovely panel members have said already. I would like to recall what I said earlier, that in my perspective, to connect with and effectively lead 21st century students is for the teacher to become a leader of excellence for him or herself first and foremost. So I'm known for my non-conventional, controversial approaches. So from that perspective, I would like to leave you with another food of thought, and that has to do with the quote of Albert Einstein. He once said that we can never solve our problems with the same level of thinking with which it has been created. Now, I wonder how many people have took the time to wonder what this exactly means. Let me offer you a hint. It comes back again to going inside and to reconnect more directly and consciously with your own core. Because it is your own core that is the entry point to that higher level of thinking.
Thank you, Christian. And I would not feel comfortable leaving this panel session if I didn't mention the streams approach. It started as a STEM approach back during, I believe, Bill Clinton's administration back in the 90s. It's the approach that integrates science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And now we developed it into, as I said, in the FANECOL streams approach, in the our curriculum, our technology that we've been developing the last 25 years, into streams approach, integrating all disciplines together, science, technology, reading, writing, engineering, art, mathematics, and of course, social and emotional learning. So all of this holistic idea, all of this holistic solution develops and enables children to collaborate, to solve collaboratively their problems, and produce solutions, be engaged, be inspired, be enabled, as my colleague said, to make mistakes, solve the mistakes, continue, and find new challenges and new solutions. So this streams approach, I want my colleagues here to share with us how do they feel about the development of the whole child, how do they feel about the nourishment of leaders through these new technologies, the artificial intelligence in education, the ethical uses of artificial intelligence in education. And I am very happy to say that I am in a IEEE sort of consortium about the ethical uses of AI in education, because it's a big issue right now, as it was back in the 90s, the big data issues. So just very, very briefly, I need your opinions on the streams approach, or even STEM approach, and how do you feel entering and catering for the education for the learners?
So in terms of higher education, I'll call it as wholesome learning and a complete learning. Now, let's think about this. You know, if you look at all the terrorists in the world, you know, most of the terrorists in the world, I'm just giving as an example, okay, it's not like a perfect example, but still, the terrorists in the world, we'll see that many chemical engineers are there. Many, other types of engineers and, you know, university graduates are there. Why are they there? They don't know about ethics. They don't know about, you know, corporate social responsibility. There is something missing, right? Putting all the theories, putting all the content and knowledge into practice and giving them a lot of information is not what we need. We need them to know about business ethics. They need to know about, you know, artificial intelligence, how to use it and how not to use it. And if we do not tell that, someone else will tell them how to not to use it or how to use it in a wrong way. So if I see about wholesome learning, I'll say they need to learn everything, be it the streams approach, wholesome learning, complete learning, even if it's in business. If you go for hackathons, technology hackathons, they are entrepreneurs. They need to know how to market their products. They need to know how to calculate, how to do accounting for their projects, right? So they need to have experience for all of this. When they do the projects, they need to know how to do Excel, for example.
Of course.
How much we give, you know, importance for these kind of small things, which can actually enable them. At the end of it, they are not going to, you know, at the end of it, when they are in their career, they are not going to do sine theta and cos theta or algebra. At the end, what survives them is the real life learning, which is channeled through all these content. So I think, you know,
its experiences.
yes, through experience. So I'm very much for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Be short, because we need to give the floor to the people as well to ask questions.
Sure, ma'am.
Yes.
So very rightly said by my co-panelist, Mrs. Anu, that it is the future. We are in the future. And again, very rightly stated by ma'am as well, that artificial intelligence is adding an aid. It is adding a fuel to our learning. It is acting as a catalyst. We all are learning, growing, evolving. What keeps us to our grounds is our values, our cores. If we know that, if we are aware about it, we individually can set our boundaries. If our students, our children see us as an example that yes, we are setting boundaries and limitations to not to cross it, we all can evolve and thrive using artificial intelligence as an aid. It's person to person, ma'am.
Of course, it's an aid,
Yeah,
and a useful one at that. Yes,
Thank you.
Monica?
So, of course, what I always tell my students is that if we always do the same things, we will always get the same results. So to get new results, we have to do something different. And having created a method that is profoundly interactive, immersive, and experiential, I do think that exploring the new frontiers, like the metaverse, for example, can really can really be a game changer. So, in my opinion, we should be able to provide our students new solutions, new environments where they can challenge themselves, because as a matter of fact, in the end, what we want them to do is to become, there is a fly, to become leaders. So in order to give them the chance to become leaders, we have to put them in the conditions to overcome their limits, find themselves in new experiences, and give them the chance really to understand that the limitations were just in their head, but not in reality.
Thank you. And Christian, your last thoughts?
I hope you've noticed that there's a synergy between us panel members. We all approach this important topic from different approaches, and it all is validated and important to see these aspects and blend them. So you could see here there's an emphasis on outer technology and how important it is. And where I'm coming from is basically to include and to connect it with the inner technology of what makes us do the things we do or don't.
Thank you. And now we are opening the floor to you. We have some minutes for your questions. Does anybody have any questions or concerns or challenges to share with us? Yes, please. Yes.
Good afternoon. It was mentioned that we should allow people to make mistakes. Now, my point is that since the day we started trying to walk, we've been making mistakes all along, learning from them, and we learn to walk. So something has changed from when we were a toddler to when we became adults, and which discourages us from recovering from making mistakes. What do you think about that?
What exactly?
Who can answer? Who wants to? Yes?
I would like
Pooja?
to go for it.
Yes, of course.
Sir, I think previously also you came up with a question, if I'm not mistaken. Everything with us is a passive adaptation of what and how we were handled when we were young. Correct me if I'm wrong. Today, any and every evidence and episode in your life is driven by how you were handled when you were a kid. These evidences becomes your reality. It truly reflects in your personality, it becomes your reality. You start carrying this personality. This is an adapted personality. That is why in my learning, in my practice, I always emphasize on the power of passive adaptation. Unfortunately, we don't realize how we are adapting, how we are driven to that path. We don't get an opportunity because we had nobody to guide us or tell us, just be yourself. Just be yourself. Today, the most difficult thing for most of us in the room is to be your true self because we fear judgment. We give other people more importance. What would people say? Oh, if I behave like this, what would somebody else say? Oh, I'm dressing up. My opinion doesn't matter. I'm standing in front of the mirror. It doesn't matter. What matters is what will somebody else say? Oh, how am I looking? Do you dare to ask yourself, oh, wow, you're looking good. Oh, how do you look, ma'am? Oh, how do you look, sir, in the mirror? How many of us dare to do that? Yeah.
And the interesting thing is that nobody cares about others. They care about themselves more than others.
I think we
People
applaud to that.
expect others to revert, and we are dependent. This dependent mentality has to be changed, has to be like dependent, independent. You need to be dependent only on one person, that is you, nobody else. That's it, sir. I hope I resolved it, sir. I hope I helped. I added a value to it, sir. Thank you.
More questions, please? For us? Yes? Yes?
So to paraphrase your concern, ma'am, how to unlearn what they have already learned. Unlearning is a challenge. It is a mindset the child needs to imbibe. It needs a lot of support. It's a process. By giving them the most important and most essential skill is to ask questions. Whenever you are performing or acting or doing anything, whenever you are in an act, ask yourself, why are you doing it? What is making you do that? What is the outcome of this? Once you have the clarity, once the child, or individually each one of us as well, have the clarity of why we are here, what are we doing here, what is the outcome, you're clear, boom, it's solved, it's resolved. The conflict that gets in there, it's resolved. And coming back to your question, the second part, ma'am, how do teachers, how do coaches aid, right? By just making them comfortable and letting them explore and just letting them be themselves, giving them that ear. How many of us listen to our children? How many of us spend that quality time with them? Even as teachers, even as coaches, we have the opportunity to sit. Let them just vent out. Let them be heard. Let them be felt that, yes, somebody is there. I have somebody's back. Once you do that, they start seeing you. They, again, along with passive adaptation, there's one more thing that I have discovered in the journey is letting them be aware of who they really are is only by giving them an opportunity. You can't guide them, you can't impose things, you can't instruct them. You will demonstrate, they will learn. We all learn. Today, the main medium of learning is YouTube. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Expertise. Experts come up there, they demonstrate, we visualize, we see, and then we start doing things on our own, independently. So let's use that. Let's be the coaches in our young children's and young minds' life by just letting them be and accepting them, by accepting them just the way they are. That is the best we can do for them.
Thank you, Pooja. Indeed, every day is a learning day. Indeed, teaching teachers who are taught in traditional educational environments and be able to teach the young generation of learners, it's challenging. Teachers are doing it, especially after COVID, when everybody had to dive into virtual schools and be able to teach from afar. Education is challenging, but at the same time is very, very rewarding, especially for those educators who really care about their children and who really care about their welfare and enabling them to solve unknown problems and be able to survive in a world where, and lead in a world where at this moment we don't know what kind of jobs and professions we will have in 5-10 years. So I don't think we have time for more questions. I want to thank you, all of our prestigious panelists here, for their power, for their passion, for their perseverance, and also thank the audience. And we are all here for the next 2-3 days and answer any questions that you may have. I want to thank you very much. And have a good day, you know, what is left of it. A good afternoon then, and evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please put your hands together, everybody, one more time for our fantastic panel.